Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel UI Ninjas. So in this video I am going to discuss about CSS buttons. We use the button tag in HTML to create a button, but by using CSS properties we can style the buttons. We can use the background color property to change the background color of a button. For example, we make one class btn1 and we add properties like background color green, and you can add number of buttons. Next is, if you want to change the font size of the button text, so we use font size property. Font size property is used to change the font size of a button. For example, make a class btn1 and in between that we add font size property. Next is rounded button. Border radius property is used to add rounded corners to a button. For example, make one class btn1 and properties border radius, value is 4px. So next is colored button border. Border property is used to add colored border to a button. For example, make one class and we use number of properties like background color and border. So we can take one example of this. First, open the Sublime text editor and in style tag we make one class btn1 and here we use first background color. That is green, and we add font size of the button text like 20px. And next is we add border radius used for rounded corner of the border, that is 4px or 2px as you wish. And here we use also border property 2px, solid, and color is black. In body section we add button. Here we use the class that is btn1 and value is submit. Here we add some content and close this button. Save this file and see the result on the browser window. This is a button. Background color I set green and border is black and rounded corners with border radius property. So next property is hoverable buttons. The hover selector is used to change the style of button when you move the mouse over it. We use multiple properties for hoverable button, one of which is transition duration property. We can set speed of the hover effect by using transition duration property. For example, make one class btn and here we use the transition duration property. Here we set the duration in seconds like 0.5 seconds, and we use this class btn and we use the hover selector. In between that we add the effect after the hover. So next is disabled button. We control disabling of buttons using the opacity property, which is used to add transparency to a button. You can also add the cursor property with the value of not allowed, which will display message pass when you mouse over the button. For example, here we make one class disabled and use opacity and cursor properties. Next is button width. If you want to change the width of the button, so we use width property. Make class and in between that we use width. Next is shadow button. The box shadow property is used to add shadow to a button. For example, make one class and in between that we add box shadow. Vertically, horizontally, right, left, you can add the border radius, and here we use the color. We can add multiple shadows by giving these proper values again and again. Next is shadow on hover. Example, dot btn2 is a class and hover is a selector, and we use the box shadow property and its values. Next is bordered button group. The border property is used to create border around multiple buttons which are a part of same group. Here we use button class, btn class, and float left used for multiple buttons in one row. And if you want to add vertical buttons, so we use display property, value is block. So we can take one example of this. Open the Sublime text editor and here we add multiple properties that I will discuss. Like first is transition, duration. Here we set the value is 0.5 second, and next we add opacity, that is 0.5, and next property, here we use cursor, that value is not allowed, and first we see the result of opacity and cursor. First I delete this and save this file and see the result on the browser window. This button is disabled and cursor not allowed. Cursor symbol is blocked here. So we disable this property by using the opacity property and cursor. So open the Sublime text editor and we remove this properties. Now we go to next property, that is transition. Transition duration property. Here we set the value is 0.5 second, and next is width. Here we set this value of to width is 100 px, and next we add box shadow property. Value is 0, 8 px, 16 px. We can add any value, and here we add orange. You can add multiple values like this again and again, like this. Here we change the color like blue. We can add multiple properties to box shadow. And next is this transition duration property. If you want to use this, so we can add here dot btn1, and here we use the hover selector. In between that we use the background color. That background color shows when you want to hover on this button. So color is black and color is cyan. and save this file and see the result on the browser window. This shows the after hover and also shows the box shadow. And next we go to the code. Open the Sublime text editor, and if you want to add here multiple buttons, so here we use float left, so all this button shows in a one row. And if you want to add vertically all the buttons, so we use in the code delete this and add display block. Save this file and see the result on the browser window. All these buttons are in vertically. So if you add space in between these buttons, so we add BR tag. Save this file and see the result on the browser window. This all button shows shadows, border, radius property, and transition after hover. So all the properties of the buttons are cleared. So thank you. If you like this video, so please like, share, comment and subscribe my YouTube channel UI Ninjas. In next video we will discuss about CSS list. Keep watching and happy learning. Thank you.